Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcoming the light, and it's a beautiful portal that we are standing on the threshold of an incredible portal that starts tonight, tomorrow, and pretty much next 3 days is a very beautiful opening to celebrate the light, to celebrate your life, to celebrate the goodness of the world. So I am so excited to dedicate this live stream to one of my most favorite mid-year events, summer solstice. This is a celestial event that has been honored and revered for literally hundreds and thousands of years, pretty much in every tradition, pagan and Celtic and ancient Egyptian, and all the people who love nature passionately, who observe the wisdom of the cycles of nature and how we can align to those cycles to live in harmony with the greater flow. My name is Katerina and I am a very passionate student of ancient wisdom. I'm also an online educator and a teacher, spiritual mentor, and a coach. And I love using the modern technology, such as live stream, to connect, to share some stories, to offer you practical tools and some practices for how to maximize this portal, right? So if you're joining right now, let me know where you're joining from. Write me something in the comments so I can see, and then I will take a look on my phone. We're just starting. If you have any questions about how to maximize this portal, how to celebrate this magical event, put them in the comments, and we're just beginning. I just started this live stream. Yes. So, darlings, 4 times a year, seasons shift, right? And we going from a spring, summer, from spring where everything is beginning to come online again, right? To this very dynamic summer where things are heating up internally and externally, where we are way more out into the world, we're engaging with the sun. It's the summer is the time to really enjoy and to celebrate and to become present to the beauty of nature and to the beauty of ourselves, because we are part of nature. So the first kind of a key idea I'd like to contemplate together is how intentionally we can make this transition from one season to another season. And if you begin to listen to your body may start craving different nutrition, different foods, right? Yesterday I went to the store and I got this amazing watermelon, right? Like I wait for this season all year where I just pretty much live on watermelons. So the body wants lighter food. The body wants to be outside. The body wants to be in the elements as much as possible. And the body wants to be in the light. So this is a really incredible season to celebrate. And solstice, the name solstice, the word solstice can be translated as standing still. So tomorrow on the solstice itself is the longest day of the year, the longest amount of light. And the practice that I'd like to do on that solstice is to connect with the light and to meditate on the light, pretty much entire solstice portal, from awakening in the morning and imagining bathing yourself in the light of your soul, in the divine light, right? Really focusing your mind on the light, because it's a celebration of light. and we are made of light. We are made of water, but we're also made of light, right? So what you focus on, you expand. What you focus on, you connect. And imagine like you are dedicating your attention, which is the most powerful currency that you have right now. You are giving attention to this topic because something called you to be here, something called you to pause a very, very active, dynamic thing that you were doing before this live stream, right? And to pause on, to attune to this incredible portal. This is energetically rich gate that is opening in the cosmos where you can stand still, focus on the light, focus on you as a being of light, and asking yourself, how can I embody my light more and more and more? How can I remember that I'm a being of light? How can I expand my light? And also you can contemplate, we can contemplate together all the ways that you've been hiding your light, or kind of like trying to dim your light, right? We all do that. Why? Because of course we just so don't like to be rejected, don't like to be misunderstood, don't like to be judged, right? But remember, the more light you're able or willing to shine, right? It's going to be a beautiful illumination and inspiration for some, and maybe a little bit blinding energy for others. But if you continue to have other people's opinion of your light to affect you or to stop you, to slow you down, you're giving away the power of your light. So this summer, what would be that most illuminated version of you? A version of you who is unfiltered in your expression. A version of you who is here to channel your vibration, to channel your soul, to channel your wisdom, right? How amazing to focus on that. That you have these precious, precious gifts and frequency, and you can offer it in the world. You can add to the light of the world. There is an incredible light work that is happening on the planet right now. So many people turning on the light within and becoming more and more and more lit up with this divine light. And it's millions of people. I'm not talking thousands, I'm talking about millions. And I know it can be challenging to see that when the mainstream media shows you only the places in the world that are covered in darkness. We do not yet have a light-filled mainstream media. But it's up to us to turn our light, and we have the social media for that. Yes, we don't have the mainstream media. We don't have a news station that says Divine Light News Station. And on this news station, we focus on all the things that are working well in the world. We're focusing on all the philanthropic project. We're focusing all the good news. We're focusing on all the great acts of human beings who choose to be kind to each other, who choose to support, who choose to uplift, right? Imagine there is a time in our human collective where we have that kind of mainstream media, and it's up to you and I to build that world. Nobody's going to build it for us. It's up to you and I to turn on that light. And I feel like the summer solstice is such a powerful invitation, right? Don't wait for the world to get there. You get there, and the world gets there with you. And that's the big lesson for me. And also, what I love about the summer is invitation to play. The summer is invitation to enjoy life, right? And this is the year of such profound transformation, year of the snake, where all of us, and I'm going to say boldly, all of us have been asked to release what has become too heavy to carry. it's a certain lifestyle or relationships or identities or image, right? Anything that has become heavy, like a burden that does not allow you to express your light more freely, more playfully. Year of the Snake says, hey, baby, let it down. Let it down and tap into a lighter version of you. So, the midpoint of this year, 6 months in, is an invitation to do another kind of a self inquiry and to say, did I take the medicine of the snake year to heart? Was I courageous to let go of the things that feel like unnecessary burden, the things that don't connect me to the joy of my heart, to the lightness of my being? I have found that at the very essence of who we are light, right? At the very essence, we are light. And when we continue to remind ourselves and each other that we don't need as much as the world tells us that we need, you know, we don't need things that create heaviness on your heart. And look back at the first 6 months of this year. When, if I tell you from the heart of my heart, this year has been so transformative. I began examining all the things that I thought I so wanted, that I wanted to give 10, 20 years of my life to create, to achieve, to manifest, whatever word you wanted. And then eventually I start feeling the heaviness of those goals and the dreams and desires. And I decided to examine them, to let them down, because the lightness of my being became more important. Way, way, way more important. So this is the gift of the year of the snake. To say, what areas of your life, areas of yourself that don't really feel true, give yourself permission to change. Change is so healthy. Without change, we become stagnant and stuck at a frozen version of who we are, right? But change is one of the most healthiest things that you can do. Is to embrace change and to say, what is this lighter version of myself that wants to play, that wants to run through the flower fields, that wants to explore, that wants to be, right? What is the version of myself that doesn't define myself by only doing, by only, the outcomes? What are the version of myself that also begins to value the lightness of my being? What is the version of myself that begins to value my light and the light that I bring? So the second idea that I'd like to share with you, that I have shared with my current group of the mystery school that I am leading right now, it's been such a long vision. Well, long in the terms of eternity is just like a speck, right? But in the terms of a one lifetime, I had this vision to be of service to the ancient mysteries and to bring a modern mystery school. And for the last 3 months, my group and I have been journeying together. And this last week, I was sharing a whole new paradigm shift that I have received this year, the year of the snake that will strip away the illusions and delusions and confusions and burdens and invite you to dance in the liberated energy of your heart. So the paradigm shift that I've received that I wanted to share with you is that I don't see impact in the same way that I used to. So many years, I was very impact driven. I would wake up in the morning and I would think, what is my greatest impact today? I would wake up next day, how can I progress my spiritual mission and the vision forward? And the impact was like the beating of my heart. So if you are an impact driven visionary and entrepreneur or spiritual practitioner, you know that drive, right? The fire in your soul, because every day matters, every day counts. But there was a glitch in my picture of the impact that I was not aware. It was kind of like a blind spot. And it was, first I had a session, one-on-one session with an elder, with a teacher of Feminine Mystery School. Ariel Spilsbury is an incredible teacher. And, we sat together in the session and she said, why are you here? And my question was, how can I grow my impact? How can I expand my impact? And she took about 5 minutes to sit in silence, or maybe more. It felt like forever. And then with her piercing blue eyes, she said, where did you adopt the belief that bigger is better? Where did you assume the belief that bigger is better? And like a piercing arrow of truth, it parted the veil of a very strong paradigm that impact was all about bigness, that you gotta reach as many people, you gotta have the most amount of projects, and you just gotta continue pile things on your calendar because impact. And the elder in her late 70s was one question just burst everything. And she planted a very powerful seed, because she said, if you right now decide not to publish a single anything, if you decide not to publish any more books, not to create any more courses, not to write a single thing, if you simply decide to be on the planet and to radiate your light, to be here and to embody your light, your impact is already done. And that was really, really powerful. So I did not accept that new perspective right away. Some part of me was fighting that perspective. Took me about another 3 or 4 years until her wisdom really absorbed in my being. And this year, I received that illumination that your most powerful impact is created moment by moment, day by day, every moment of your full aliveness, every moment of your full presence, every moment of your coherence, you're making an impact. And then you gradually begin to get out of the way, so your higher self and the divine within you can begin to play your being as an instrument. So you begin to sing a special song and a melody for the divine, because you are grateful to be exactly where you placed. You are grateful to fulfill the exact assignment that was placed into your hands. You opened your eyes to the beauty and the perfection of the design that you are part of. I've been thinking a lot about satisfaction lately, right? And how so many people feel less and less satisfied. And the fancy word that we use for is fulfillment. Have you found your fulfillment? Let's talk about it, beloveds. What's the other word for fulfillment? The satisfaction, where you wake up every single day and you love being exactly where you're at. You don't have a story, you don't have a movie in your mind that says, I don't really like where I'm at, I need to be somewhere else. And we're missing so many years of our divine life by trying to be somewhere else, by trying to be somewhere else. What if satisfaction comes where you arrive fully into your imperfect, ordinary, extraordinary human journey, and you begin to open your eyes, you begin to open your heart, that your impact is every moment you can create an impact. So when you tune into this perspective, do you feel lighter in your heart, or do you feel heavier? when you think about a perspective that impact is bigness and greatness and millions of people, do you start feeling a little anxious about the whole thing? And when I invite you to consider that your biggest impact happens a moment at a time, a day at a time, with that smile that you offer to others, where you slow down and plant a new tree, right? Where you go visit an elder who hasn't been visited for years, right? Where you help a child, where you rescue an injured dog. These very ordinary moments of impact, but they actually uplift the vibration of the whole planet. So I invite you to filter all of your decisions through the lens. Does this feel like it's expanding my light? Or does it feel like it's contracting my light? You're here to embody and express and radiate your light, beloveds. So then we have this celebration of the light, right? That's the energy of solstice. And a ritual or manifestation practice that can help you expand your light even more is when you stand still tomorrow and you connect to the light of the divine, and you make this invitation for the light of the divine to express through your life even more than you already do so. It's such a beautiful practice to rededicate your life. That's another word for surrender. And surrender is such an incredible gift, because when you surrender, you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities, how the Great Spirit can move through your life. Infinite ways, how you can be guided and supported and to be invited to serve with your light. So tomorrow, I am going to, and I also wanted to share with you, each solstice is a different sign. So this solstice is in a sign of Cancer. And a sign of Cancer is very nourishing, right? It's the great nourisher. It's the archetype of the mother. So it's the archetype of living in the heart. So this entire year, the theme that I have been contemplating, what would it look like if I let my heart lead the way truly? And my heart is wise. It's so much wiser. It's a seat of intelligence. And, last week at the Mystery School, we were diving into ancient teachings of the Sacred Heart, that we have two hearts. We have a spiritual heart, a metaphysical heart, which is the seat of our soul and the seat of our spiritual wisdom. And we have a physical heart, and they're both connected. So when our spiritual heart begins to open and begins to connect to the cosmic heart, it actually strengthens our physical heart. We become more filled with life force, with energy, because when our spiritual heart is awakened, our physical heart gets affected by the joy of that spiritual connection. So we can make our physical heart stronger by continuing awaken our spiritual heart, right? So let me know if anybody has questions, because this is such a beautiful topic, and I feel this year is so transformative, so transformative. Nothing will be the same at the end of this year. I look back at the beginning of this year when I was making my 2025 intuitive predictions. In my wildest imagination, I could not have predicted where I would be on a summer solstice, right? And I welcome a whole new chapter, a whole new way of being. Follow it, the calling of my heart. And like for me personally, this entire year, we're in the year 9, right? So we're completing 9 years. So remember, this cycle started in 2016. Who you were in 2016? Doesn't it feel like a completely different life? 2016, 2015. Oh my goodness. And here you are, 9 years. More authentic, more rooted in who you are, more aware of your inner gifts, more aware of the soul of the world, more aware of your true path, right? And maybe, looking back at the last 9 years, you I hope you are in awe because you can create so much transformation in 9 years. So we have 6 more months of release, letting go, restructure, because next year is a year one. We're starting a whole new cycle. So it's also a really good time to review what are the patterns, what are the habits, what are the things in your life that you don't want to drag to the next 9 years. If we don't find the strength and the courage to let them go, we're going to drag them in the next 9 years. I know it sounds quite like intense, but what can I tell you? I have seen this happen again and again. So becoming really aware, if you feel called on the level of your soul to let go of something that feels like a burden that you're carrying, that it's not worth it. Your health is struggling, your relationship is struggling, your inner peace is struggling, and you keep holding on to it because you're afraid to set it down. If you're not letting it go this year, you will bring the same theme for the next 9 years. So I invite you, whether it's relationship or your habits, or we're all adults. We all can look honestly into our own lives and say, and if you've already been doing that, if you say, Katerina, I transformed my life in the first 6 months, I don't even recognize myself. I'm here with you. And it's glorious. It's like when we stop fearing or resisting change, when we begin to celebrate change, when we begin to see that nothing ever stays the same, with every single day we're new. Every single day there is an opportunity to discover yourself in a new way and to celebrate that discovery. So the light, one thing that I wanted to share with you from ancient mystery school tradition, specifically ancient Egyptian mysteries, which my mystery school is rooted in right now, and that they were, their whole philosophy, the mystical philosophy, was that you were born with a seed of a soul as a human being. You were not born with a fully awakened soul. Every incarnation, you need to awaken the seed of the soul and develop it and develop it and develop it. Or another metaphor that I like to use is, when we take a new life, we take a new incarnation, where you're born into this life, you're born with a tiny little flame, right? And it's your assignment when you're on the spiritual path to let that flame become bigger and bigger and bigger, that you begin to emanate your soul essence from everything. And that's the task, right? That's the task. Yeah. So Oni is asking, why is it 9 years? Yeah, there's two systems. There's more than two systems. I resonate with, the way that I track the system of numerology that goes by 9-year cycle. But some people go by 7-year cycles. I go by the system of Pythagoras, who was also a mystery school teacher, and he was counting everything in 9-year cycle. So it's one of the most oldest tradition to track cycles of time, because we have 10 letters, 9 is 9 solid numbers, and then you go to the 1. So 9 is a full cycle. You also have 9 months for the baby to be formed, right? So 9 is a very sacred number. It's a divine feminine number, the full completion. So, and thank you, Uni, for this question, because it brought me to the topic of divine feminine. So, my dear ones, summer solstice is a very sacred feminine. Summer is the time of the goddess. It's when the goddess in us wants to play, she wants to frolic, she wants to make love, she wants to have delights, right? Allow your inner goddess, allow your inner feminine to feel that, right? Allow your inner feminine to bloom. And you can even begin with giving yourself permission to awaken your senses in a deeper way. And on the summer solstice tomorrow, we have a beautiful connection with the Pleiadians, right? So the Pleiadians are also connected to the seven spiritual guides, seven Hathors, seven Pleiadians. And you know, they bring their energy through this portal very strongly. So whether you know anything about them, or whether you know it's completely new idea or new perspective for you, Pleiadians are sort of like galactic shamans, and there have been many different teachings coming to our planet to bring that memory that the Pleiadians have been deeply involved in bringing our human civilization on this planet, right? So they're kind of like our grand ancestors. The Pleiadians are very loving. They are very sacred feminine energy centered. So if you want to connect to them, you can say through your heart center, you invite the healing, pleading energy of the highest light to awaken your inner feminine, to awaken your ability to receive more, your ability to trust the mystery, your ability to dance with uncertainty, with new kind of lightness in your soul. So yes, Katerina, frolic and play for sure. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do with my partner. We will, well, I have a workshop that I'm going to attend in the morning to study and learn with another elder that I love. And then in the afternoon, we are actually creating a whole experience where we can enjoy in sensory delights with beautiful fresh fruit and you know, just like really create the time to celebrate life. The beautiful teaching on celebration: the more you celebrate, the more the universe says, I am going to give you more reasons to celebrate. A lot of times we can have this unconscious guilt around celebration. Have you ever felt that? It's like almost like if you start celebrating a little bit too much, there's kind of like a weird unconscious guilt, or we don't have time for celebration. We have other things to accomplish, other things to take off our to-do list, other things like other people to take care of. But from energetic perspective, the more you celebrate, it is this message that you're sending to the cosmos that says I love celebrating. And the universe says, I want to give you way more reasons to celebrate, right? It's a really beautiful practice. You know, like when my partner and I share meals, we never eat until we say out loud the gratitude, and truly from the heart, right? It's not like, thank you for this meal, let's eat. Like truly going into your heart and feel the profound gratitude for the abundance of food, the abundance of joy in your heart, the abundance of fresh, clean air, right? And the summer solstice is an invitation to really see the power of celebration, the magic and the beauty of that. Yes, darlings. So let me know if anybody else has questions. Otherwise, I feel complete. I'm here to invite you to celebrate life and to frolic and to remember Summer is for play, right? Of course, summer is also to continue to cultivate to all the seeds that you've planted in the spring, right? Summer is for cultivation, summer is for growth, summer is for bringing your projects to fruition, and alongside that, summer is for joy and play and love and rest. So, it's a really beautiful practice to find that unique balance between being very, very actively engaged in your life, in your creativity, in your work that fulfills you, in your studies, and at the same time, the joy and a celebration of being. So, thank you. If you found this live stream, whether it's on my YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and you know somebody who would just totally be grateful and excited to see this, please pass it along, tag them, share. If you see this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I'll post this live stream there. And that's it for now. It was really beautiful to connect with you in the beginning of the summer. It's my favorite season, my favorite season. And until I connect with you next, thank you. Celebrate the light that you are. Happy summer solstice.